About Professor Mini Shaji Thomas. She is the first women director of NIT or IITs in India. We are so proud of you, ma'am. We are privileged to have you here. Thank you. I now take great pleasure in inviting Professor Subbarao Kambhampati, 1983 batch, Electrical Engineering, who is now the Professor, Arizona State University, USA.
This is the citation for Professor Subbarao Kambhampati, who graduated with his BTech in Tripoli from the Electrical Engineering Department in 1983. He is now a professor at the School of Computing and AI at Arizona State University. Professor Subbarao Kambhampati is currently a professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, School of Computing and AI, Arizona State University, Tempe. He obtained his BTech in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from IIT Madras in 1993. He finished his Masters in Computer Science at the University of Maryland, College Park, USA in 1985. He completed his PhD in 1989 at the same university. At Arizona State University, Kambhampati teaches and conducts research in artificial intelligence. His research group studies fundamental problems in planning and decision making, motivated in particular by the challenges of human-aware AI systems. Kambhampati has mentored scores of masters and PhD students who are in influential positions across the world. Kambhampati is an elected fellow of the Association for the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence, the American Association for the Advancement of Science, and the Association for Computing Machinery, and was an NSF Young Investigator. He is also an award-winning teacher and the recipient of the university-wide Last Lecture Award. Kambhampati served as the president of the Association for the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence, was a trustee of the International Joint Conference on Artificial Intelligence, and is the chair of AAAS Section P, Information, Communication and Computation. He was also a founding board member of the Partnership on AI. Kambhampati is an acknowledged thought leader on AI technology and its societal impacts. He spoke at multiple high-profile governmental forums, including the White House, and has been quoted in prominent national and international media, including the New York Times, National Public Radio, the New Yorker, the Guardian, the Atlantic, and Netflix. For his immense contributions to the field of AI and computer science engineering, IIT Madras and its alumni are proud to bestow the Distinguished Alumni Award for the year 2022 upon Professor Subbarao Kambhampati.
Thank you very much, Professor, for giving the citation. I request our director to honor the awardee with the anniversary. And the memento. I now request Sadi to present the oil painting.
You painted it. Told you with some AI tool. Darling.
Thank you so much, Director and Professors. I now request Professor Subbarao Kambhampati to give his acceptance speech.
Okay, so you have one acceptance speech left before you can go and have your dinner, right? And you get a professor, a South Indian, garrulous male professor. Bad planning, okay? God help you. I'm hoping that Oscars will take a leaf from the DAA acceptance speeches. Then we can get the full movie stories as well as acting lessons all in one sitting, which is great. Seriously, it's been great listening to the life stories of the fellow awardees. Thank you, Director and the faculty of IIT Madras for this great honor. I spent what were probably my most formative years here, and a recognition from you, my alma mater, the nourishing mother, is very gratifying. For someone with a reward metric, inbuilt reward metric like mine, life can't get any better than this. Of course, no joy can be unalloyed unless you can share it with your loved ones. I want to thank a few of mine who are in the audience here first. I came to IIT Madras from Pedapuram, a small town in Andhra Pradesh, as a 16-year-old in the summer of 1978. The center in which I took JEE was so sure that nobody ever gets in through JEE from that center that when I went and foolishly asked them, what about these results? I have my roll number. They literally took the results from the dustbin because nobody ever came to ask them. And so then, I found that I actually got in. So once I found that I got in, that's how I showed up on one hot June day at the campus in 1978. I feel blessed that my father, who came all the way to join me on Alakananda that day, and my mother, who was worried sick that her clueless firstborn is being sent off to fend for himself in some faraway big city, are both here in the audience. Amma, Nana, Idi, Meek Kuda. Thank you. My brother, who was the unwitting target of my newly acquired and often half-baked IIT fundas, is here too with his wife. So is my aunt, who came to Madras as a young bride during my second year and became my junior local guardian here for 4 years. Thank you. I also see other familiar faces, including some of my own batchmates. Karmalkar was here. I believe he's still here, as of course is Sujata. And thank you. We had great times in that batch. I think 78, 83 is by far the best batch ever. There's no question. So having spent 5 eventful years here, I have so many memories of this place, be it the food, the ambience in Alak, Jamuna, or Tapti. So I actually stayed in 3 different hostels. The Saturday movies at the open-air theater, or the frantic runs from class to class in HSB. And the leisurely saunters in the electrical and sciences block, because by the 3rd year, really, you slow down. So the many close friendships, some of which have endured the passage of time, all of these happened here. These last 2 days, as I walked around the campus in the evening and the early morning hours, looking at the newly young ones trying to do the kinds of things I was doing, except with supposedly different equipment and stuff, I realized that I had even more place-specific memories stashed away in the subconscious. You turn a corner between mechanical engineering department and the East ESB, and I remember, the following thing happened there. So it's like, our memories are made that way, and it was just lovely experience. This morning I actually passed by the fitting shop. I don't know how many of the guys who are talking about the fitting went to the fitting shop, and I took a picture and tweeted saying 44 years on, I still have raw memories of the infamous fitting shop at IIT Madras. You file away with abandon for over a week on your very first week. I was one of those people who had the first week as workshop. In that time, we used to have 1 week workshop, 1 week classes. You file away with abandon for over a week on your very first week, only to find that in your zeal you made the bottom plate hopelessly uneven, more like a St. Louis arch. And you have to start all over again. How fitting a start to IIT. I remember the teachers, of course, Ramabhadran, Rambai. I know how many of you guys remember Rambi? Okay, Rambi, who taught us physics in his full South Indian formal attire. Anthony Reddy, who taught us both basic electronics and really basic philosophy. My brother once said, I'm surprised that higher education doesn't have a holistic bent at all. And I immediately thought of Anthony Reddy, who actually thought it's not just the lectures, it's also life values that you may want to talk to your students about. And VGK Murthy of networks and VV Rao of communications for their no drama teaching. And I think Sapli Shankaran for his unalloyed excitement in the teaching circuits is almost the opposite end from the drama department. I did mention Sapli Shankaran because, he used to give us supplementaries. Ashok Jhunjhunwala, who as a spring chicken, the spring chicken just joined during my time here and was full of enthusiasm and access compared to all these fuddy-duddy older professors. And then Yajnarayana, who was my project guide, who also taught my first AI course, and I have remained smitten with AI ever since, thanks to him. And so thanks to him, I get to tell my friends that I was into AI way before it was cool to be in AI. All of you are in AI. You want to say you're all in AI of something or other. I was apparently there before it was actually cool. Yajnarayana actually was a very interesting character. He was a very research-intensive professor, and he would come to our hostel on his scooter on Saturdays to pick us up. Saturdays are for, sleeping late and eating dosa and sleeping again, and yet he will come by scooter to pick us up, to take us to the speech recognition lab so that we can do more work. It was a lovely experience in doing research. One good thing, of course, is we would get to work on the prime operating system, none of this 370 stuff in the lower floor with all the falling away cards. And prime operating system, unfortunately, was controlled by that Martinet, Kalyana Krishnan. So we had to keep our shoes outside or you would be thrown out of the institute like forever. But it was air conditioned and you get to sleep when your program is compiling. All these teachers remained exemplars as I pursued an academic career myself. I'm so glad that I was able to meet with Ashok Jhunjhunwala the day before yesterday, and also Anthony Reddy yesterday on this trip. Finding Anthony Reddy itself is almost a mystery solving, and I did find that. I have met Yajnarayana a couple of years back, and I plan to meet him again when I'm in Hyderabad. Of course, I understand that this recognition is not for my JEE rank or the CGPA at IIT. I assure you they are very formidable, but I won't talk about them. But for what I did with what I got from here, and for that 40-year-long odyssey, I owe thanks and gratitude to my home institution, Arizona State University, which has been my professional home for quite a long time, and the amazing students I got to teach and do research with there, and my wife Chaitali, a fellow faculty member at ASU. In fact, I'm a spousal candidate. They got her and then they took pity on me and got me there too. So I'm a proud spousal candidate, so Chaitali, with whom I was fortunate to make a charmed home life and even a hyper-opinionated offspring. Chaitali got her own DAA, Distinguished Alumnus Award from IIT KGP a full 4 years back. But as we all know, there's only one IIT that NIRF, whatchamacallit, ranks as number one, right? So my thing, my thing matters more. Seriously though, guys, thanks for keeping me in the running, okay? It's hard. Speaking of which, over the years, I have watched IIT Madras progress and rise with barely concealed filial pride. You are children of this institution, and when you see your parents doing well, you feel very proud. And so in some sense, that is something that we felt. Although I got my degree in electrical engineering, LC, remember, low current. I spent most of my post-IIT career in computer science and AI, and thus have more active contacts with the CSE department. For example, with Ravi Balaraman's group. Ravi is here. It was great fun talking to the CS students yesterday and also giving a talk at the CS department yesterday. I hope to further strengthen these in years to come. I do have the next 18 pages of my lessons that I want to tell you about, as well as my accomplishments, but I think you want to eat. So thank you again for this great honor and for the memories of the past and warmth of the present. Really, it's been beautiful coming here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Subbarao
He is Sapni
Kambhampati.
Shankaran's son.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I request you all to join me in putting our hands together for all the distinguished alumni awardees for today. Thank you all. May I now request Ms. Sujata Dubey, Vice President, Office of Institutional Advancement, to please propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Angelina. Good evening, everyone. I would like to start by thanking our director, Professor Kambhampati, for hosting this wonderful event, and for Dean Mahesh Panchangula, our Alumni and Corporate Relations team, for supporting him in this. I'd like to thank all the deans and the HODs of all the departments, the DAA committee members, all the DAAs who have taken the time and the trouble to come here, and their family members.